Hi, this is Shawn Carson, and I'd like to welcome you to today's episode of our 30-day Deep Trance Identification Challenge. And today we're going to be doing a really important step in the DTI process. And it's a step that a lot of people who do DTI don't incorporate. And when you incorporate this step, you'll really bring the DTI into yourself, into your physicality. And the first key point about this step, there's 4 key points about this step, but the first key point is to actually physically embody the model. Now what does that mean? Well, if you think back to the episode of the challenge where we talked about building rapport with the model, where you would sit, close your eyes, imagine the model is in front of you, notice their breathing, begin to match their breathing, and notice something about their physicality. It could be a gesture that they make, it could be a facial expression, it could be a combination of those things, but something about their physicality that encapsulates who they are. And once you have that, you're going to use that as your own physical trigger to literally step into the DTI. So we'll just go over, I said there were 4 key things, we'll go over the next 3 and then I'll tell you how to apply them. So the next 3, the second one is, what's the emotional state of the model? When you did the DTI and you stepped into the experience of being the model, what is it that you felt? What emotions did you feel? Perhaps confidence or motivation or kindness, compassion, whatever those emotions were. Notice what you felt and where you felt those in your body. The third key point is, what's the sensory awareness of the model? So are they focusing on something? Does their attention focus in on one thing, or is their attention more spread out? Are they more focused on their sight, sound, their feelings, or combination? So what's their sensory experience of the world around them? And the fourth point, the final point, is, what are their thoughts? What do they think? Now, obviously they'll be thinking about their expertise, I guess. What we mean by their thoughts is, what's the quality of their thoughts? So let me give you a quick example. When Steve Gilligan did his DTI with Milton Erickson, he expected that Milton Erickson's thoughts would be really fast. That Milton Erickson's brain would be going through all the possibilities of all the things he could do with his client. And what he found when he actually did the DTI is that it was the opposite of what he thought it would be. In fact, what he experienced was a very calm state that Milton Erickson had, a state which allowed him to react to what the client gave him in the moment. So those are the 4 key things. What's the physicality, the body, the gesture, the facial expression of your model? What's the emotional state of the model? What's the awareness, the sensory awareness of the model? And what are the thoughts of the model? And we use a way of remembering this. We say B-E-A-T, beat. Okay, B for body, E for emotions, A for awareness, and T for thoughts. Okay, so the beat. Now, after you've done the DTI with the model, but you're still in the model, you can stand up or sit down, whichever is most appropriate, and you can step into the model. You can make that key gesture, key facial expression which the model makes. And as you make that expression, you'll begin to feel yourself feeling the emotions which the model has. And then you can begin to focus your sensory awareness, what you're seeing and hearing and feeling, in the way that the model does. And then finally, notice the thoughts of the model. And this step of actually physically stepping into the model is absolutely key for the DTI process. Now, how long do you want to stay in your own physicality being in the model? Well, in the case of Gilligan, I think he spent 30 minutes or an hour or so being Milton Erickson. In the case of Rykov, he just had his students spend a few minutes practicing their instrument as the model. So it depends upon who you're modeling and what the context is. You could spend a minute physically in the model, or you could spend a whole hour being the model. It's up to you. So this is a really important step. It's the next step. So when you've done the DTI, do this BEAT. Step into the physicality, the gesture, the facial expression of the model, the emotions of the model, the sensory awareness of the model, and the thoughts of the model. That's all we've got time for. We'll see you in the next episode.